Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is more Dark Souls 2 beta in my playthrough of the 3-hour time slot on the final server testing session. I'm using the Zweihander, which a lot of people might be wondering why I'm using a weapon that's in Dark Souls. Well, you just pretty much saw the reason why I'm using it, because it does that to things, and it's it's a really, really fun weapon. It swings unbelievably quick too, and it always makes me look at Dark Souls, man. How long did we have swords swinging, you know, like bloody, like belts on a dominatrix ass, you know? They swung so quick, so frequently, it was kind of crazy. And then they changed it because, I assume, in response to stun locking. Which, you know, now I look back, a lot of the changes that happened to Dark Souls, I really hope it's because the developers wanted them, and not just because there was that much bitching online. Because one thing I've noticed about Dark Souls in my time with it, everybody has something they don't like. Everybody has something they think is unfair. Everybody, you know, finds something that they kind of focus on, and it's something they dislike. Those opinions change when you learn to defend against them, when you learn to counter them, when you use them yourself, or when you just become a little bit more relaxed and less stringent on your opinions when it comes to playing it. But the one unifying factor for most of it is Dark Souls was never intended to be fair, so I don't really understand even why I myself wanted it to be that way. So speaking of fairness, this is a gank. So this is a Dark Souls 2 gank, and if I said it ended well, I would be lying. But you'll notice I ran in there, hit somebody with the Zwei, then I threw a magical urn, and I have no idea where to go because all the enemies in this place are going to be dead because he's with two buddies. And I'm thinking, run to the Red Phantoms. The Red Phantoms are my friends. Hopefully I'll have better navigational skills than the people playing. Maybe I'll be a little quicker. And you'll notice that one of the Phantoms, he's played Dark Souls before. He's all up on my shit. So I throw one of the bombs at him. It does 55 damage. I throw another one. Get some of those witching urns out, and I'm keeping them at bay because if I don't, I'm about to get heavily bummed. And then I run in to try and do a swing, and I miss because this is Dark Souls 2 and it doesn't work the same, and I pay for it big time. So I'm thinking, I hope the Red Phantoms are up here so I can try and heal, and I make a big mistake here. I put a life gem on. Don't use life gems, guys, when you're invading. It doesn't make a damn difference. It heals you so slow, it's pointless. It takes forever and it does nothing, and then that happens. So I got exactly what I deserved. And do we get the taunts? Yeah, there you go. Knew that one would happen. Something to note as well, I think that guy's wearing the armour from the final area. The armour that I missed, the Llewellyn armour, which tells you that he's either played the demo before, or the beta before, or he's just quite observant, or he's up on the wikis and things and the forums, which says, that's my phone. He was probably the worst possible person to come up against in that instance. And I know what you're thinking, guys, I should turn my phone off, and I really should, because I don't use it, I don't really like it. The only person who ever texts me is my girlfriend, so I suppose that's probably why I don't do what I just said. But I have no idea what I was saying, because I've just read that text, and it's just cleared the terrible short-term memory that I have. So this is me fighting a few hollows. I went for a parry then coming out of the animation. As you can see, it didn't really work, but the difficulty on these base enemies is so low, it makes me wonder what the main game's going to be like, because I hear that it's, you know, the toughest game ever, and I hear it's really, really challenging and stuff, but at the same time, guys, one thing you really need to bear in mind is there's a lot of bad players. There really are, and I'm not saying this to offend anybody, you know, I'm really not. It's just, some people suck, they do. You know, they have fun, and that's the main thing. You know, if you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, that's perfect. But you suck. And not everybody does. So I'm really looking forward to getting completely bummed and, you know, sucking at the game. Because if it is really challenging, then I can guarantee that I'll suck at it. And I'll suck at it until I learn not to suck. And that's, you know, the progression of playing any game. It's just, I get this feeling that people are making it out to be more than it is. And everybody who said that it's hard are people who weren't all that good at Dark Souls. And I'll put an addendum to this because a lot of the streamers who've played it are PvP guys, which they have a really good understanding of Dark Souls, and when it comes to fighting humans and dealing with latency, they're really, really good. But when it comes to fighting the engine, for some reason, hardly any of them are even remotely competent at doing it, and it's almost like a joke on their streams that they're so bad at it. And it's not a bad thing, because it's, you know, it's funny to watch. It's just, it's kind of difficult to take the opinion on somebody saying that the game is difficult when you aren't very good at that aspect of the game. So I'm extremely curious to see. I think I'm getting invaded. So, because I don't want to deal with it thanks to lag, I kill myself. Because that's how I roll. And it's a much quicker way of getting my bonfire back. And you might be thinking, well, why did you do that? Well, when I was playing this night, the only things I've trimmed out of this video are instances where, you know, I was waiting on servers to connect and they failed, and they kept failing, so I couldn't invade. And it takes a while to do it, and I only had 3 hours to play, and I wanted to do things, so when it started to mess up and not work, I just decided to start doing that. But you'll notice I'm using the human effigy to reverse my hollowing, just to kind of, you know, give me more chance of being invaded, because when I was invading it didn't really work. When they were invading me, it worked a little bit better. But look at that, immediately could not find other worlds. And this is no doubt my internet playing up at this point, but at the same time this is a server stress test, so this is the kind of stuff they're looking at. So if nothing else, at least I gave them some data on someone with a fucking terrible connection. But there, that one oh no, failed again. But I can't even begin to tell you how frustrating it was, purely because I didn't have very long with the copy of the game. And I would have really liked it if the game was open, it wasn't locked off by fog walls, so you could get as far feasibly as you could race. I think that would have been really cool. Would have reminded me of Luigi's Mansion, because back in the day, one of the local cities that I live near, they had a Curry's in one of the big shopping centres, and in that Curry's they had Halo on the original Xbox before it came out, and they had Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube before it came out. Because I was a massive Nintendo fan and I couldn't wait for the GameCube, I used to go with Aiden on Saturdays to play it. He would play the Halo game, I would play Luigi's Mansion. I didn't play Halo because I thought it was shit, guys, if that's an example of my mindset at that point, and I still kind of do. So instead, I was playing Luigi's Mansion, and there was no memory card in it. There was a massive queue for it, which I completely ignored, and every single time my mum came up to me and asked if her son could play, and I, you know, chivalry took over and I gave the kid the pad, he would fucking die and reset all my progress. So, like, and we would be there till it closed, and we did that almost every Saturday for several weeks, which, you know, looking back to some people might sound incredibly sad, but it was the highlight of my week, because I got to play a game that wasn't out on a console I couldn't wait for. What the hell am I using here? I'm using is it the halberd? So this is a really interesting weapon, and I'm not too sure if I've gone over the nuances of the halberd. They've pretty much turned it into a weapon that I will never use, but I'm infinitely grateful that they've changed. Because you'll notice on a halberd, the only really dangerous part of it is the end. And on this game, if you don't hit them with the end, it doesn't do a lot of damage, so it mitigates the amount of damage you do, and you have to use a lot of skill to get good damage from it, which I think is a cool idea. And I get to fight the only remaining fat guy with it, so there's a couple of quick hits. And it's not I mean, just, you see that 32 damage, that was a bad hit. That was me not doing it right. That's the difference between 166 and 32 damage, so that is a massive deficit, that. This is going to be a weapon literally for people who want to get good with it. Because people are going to pick it up, it's not going to do the damage they expect, and then they're just going to take it off. So Martyr's Brigade, if he's going to stick with the halberds, because he's kind of a halberd guy, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. And maybe that's exactly what he wants, because, you know, Martyr has never really shied away from a challenge, so it could be fun to watch him. I'm sure he'll be making videos again when that drops. But one thing I found on this beta as well is these oh, that's the backstab. That's a nice animation. It does look rough, but it's still cool because it's very visceral. But the guys who kneel down like that, wearing those hilarious lumberjack outfits, they can be very difficult to see. But then again, this is such a dark game. It makes me wonder where in the game this is. Because wherever this is, I want to spend as little time here as I physically can. I want to go to all the day places, because the day places look great. And if you can control the time of day, it'll turn into what Oblivion did for me, where whenever it got to night time, I would wait until it became day, because I used to hate traversing it at any other time. So you see that was a guy, I believe, wearing that Llewellyn armour, and he had his vice, so he's looking to PvP, he's got his red sign down, he's ready for it. And I got an invasion, so let's have a see how this one goes. We invaded Gadget 313. So I immediately pop on the Bastard Sword for a little bit of speed, and the Zweihander for a little bit of strength. And I have no idea why I'm here, but I suppose we'll make it up as we go along. This is me checking the, can we get through the NPCs? Ooh, I don't remember that. That's a bit scary. That's strange that they've not allowed you to do that. I wonder if I could have attacked him. I'd be curious to see. So, yeah. Getting around stuff on ledges like that, real scary. I'm hoping it's tweaked in the final game, because that was not cool. Where is he? Oh, he's there! There we go. So this guy's got a massive shield. Here we go. Hit him, 150 damage. Went for the parry, got nothing. Broke my guard. Do you see that? He broke my guard, but he didn't do anything with it. Hit him with a witching urn, and then get stun locked for my trouble. But he pushed me out of the range of the stun lock, which is quite cool. Here's the setup parry. It works as well. Here's the riposte. How much damage is that? Wow, you see how lag on the damage? What the fuck, man? Then I go for the stun lock to win, and like lag, just... So yeah, Dark Souls 2 on a bad connection, not very fun. And then people, I don't get people gesturing. I really don't, especially on this. Like, you did so much good stuff then, dude. But our internet was so like incompatible that it just warped around and you stun locked me. Congratulations, a fantastic player on a beta of a game. I mean, what did they do to get an encore to that? Did they go outside and like push the guy in the wheelchair out of his chair and then run in front of him in the new fucking trainers? Like, come on, guys, what is that shit? But thank you for watching, and you take care now.